All right. There we go. We are now live. And I have tweeted. So, fair warning to anyone who happens to be watching. All right. Hello. Hello, my players. How are you? That's good. That's good. That's improvement. So, welcome back to Curse of the Crimson Throne. We are unfortunately down my siblings tonight. My family seems to have been hit with a case of the not playing D&D this week.
That's real unfortunate.
It is, but we shall soldier on as best we can. And we will stop if we need to, but we'll keep going. This might be a bit of a short session. It might not. I guess it just depends on how it goes. But that said, a quick recap. Last week, you guys discussed what to do with the prisoner. You know what? I should totally spice this up. Last week on the Crimson Throne, our brave heroes discussed the fate of their captive that was tied up and chained in a closet. Rhea and Aras got a little TLC from Camille, and Rhea found out she has to keep dealing with the woman in her dreams to find the woman of her dreams.
That was good.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, that was good, Squee.
We found out that Robin can moonlight as Alfred from Batman. And Weary, what can one say about Weary? She's always there, sleep or shine. Really, I have nothing to say from Weary. She was very kind to a lot of people last session.
Weir's just out there doing her best.
Rhea was so caught up in the woman in her dreams that she forgot to actually rest. Good job there. And you guys decided, having thoroughly cleaned and rebuilt Van Carlos' home.
Our abilities at the moment.
Having fully cleaned and rebuilt Van Carlo's home, you have decided to continue on to the home of Salvatore Scream, artiste extraordinaire and the only surviving member of the guys who know where Kerpopolis is. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. This is fantastic. Hang on, everyone. Just 1 second.
Cliffhanger? Find out what happens next.
Exactly. Now we get to take control.
Quick, everybody, murder Gadrian. It'll be fine.
Yeah, when he comes back, oh, I'm sorry, the campaign's over.
We fixed it.
Well, game's over, guys. Time to go home.
It was fast.
Mm-hmm.
I feel a little let down, kind of emotional.
Okay, all right. So, give me a second. I'm switching my mic because I'm gonna have to multitask here, just a tad bit.
Unacceptable.
Oh man, we're gonna try this out. So yeah, that's pretty much the recap. We're done there.
Mic on.
Oh wait, hang on. It would help if I actually turn on voice meter. So, we're actually technically getting all serious and stuff. We ended last session, you guys walking into the house of Salvatore Scream. No one seems to be at home, or at least no one answered the knock on the door that was kicked in, or perhaps fell off. It is a really old door. It's hanging by one hinge. And inside the room, you found tons of paintings. An enormous amount of paintings, all of the same basic drawing. Let me pull that up for all of you who don't have it. Where is it? There you go.
Oh, why am I down here?
What? Oh, there we go. Gotcha. Here you go. This drawing. Right there. Give me a second. Alright, sweet. Can you guys still hear me?
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, when last week,
Yeah, he's walking kind of carefully, cautiously, picking one up at a time, holding it up to the other, and he's not putting them down, he's stacking them in an arm, carrying them around. Yeah, quite reverently, as if
Mic
they're
off.
very special to him.
And I'm assuming we all see him do this.
Mic on.
I mean, as soon as
Gotcha.
Ria lets us in through the door.
Yeah.
Mic off.
No, absolutely not.
Like.
Mic
I
on.
don't get
Oh,
my
hold on.
spells.
Oh man.
Some look fairly new. Others are starting to fade from time and wear.
He's gonna start lining them up against a wall. If there's any paper copies he can keep, he will by tucking it in a book or something and taking it, but alright. He's gonna pick his favorite and put it in his bag and line the rest up against the wall for healing. Just completely quietly, just organize.
How big are these canvases?
Mic off.
Okay. Is there anything in here aside from the paintings, like
Very
a
poor
desk or-
furniture. Yeah, there's a kind of a cabinet, if you want to call it that, in the corner or in the far room where Robin is, that held a lot of the paintings. There's painting supplies. There is a tarp in the corner of the room that looks like it may have been used as a painting area, though if there is an easel, it's not there anymore.
Okay. I'd like to investigate and see what's in here.
Sure, roll me an investigation check.
20.
20. Okay. Well, let me find out. You find not much in the way of items other than the paintings, but what you do find as you look around the room is it becomes very clear from the mud and the disturbance of the dust. There were a lot of people here at some point, perhaps half a dozen or more. But there are a lot of footsteps marching through this room.
About how recent doesn't look.
You'd have to roll me a survival check for that. Jeez.
19.
All right. A good 2 weeks or so. You also notice as you kind of bend down to study it, towards the edge of the room, kind of partially covered with dust now, but it looks like there was something heavy dragged across the floor. There's like a drag pattern in the dust.
Does it look like it might have been like a box or like a person?
No, but seems more like person.
Amelia sighs and gets back up onto her feet and says, "It looks like there was quite a ruckus in here about 2 weeks ago. I think he might have been dragged out." Or at least someone was.
Moira nods and and says, "Well, no harm in looking at what he left behind."
Were there any like actual like shelves or like a trunk or something in here, or is it just the?
In
Yeah.
this room, no, nothing but the paintings and the tarp on the floor and the shelf
And what's on the shelf?
paintings.
Oh, just the paintings. Okay. Yeah.
Has anyone addressed that, like, Robin is, like, carrying all these around?
I was waiting
Nope.
to. I was letting everyone investigate first.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, Mary will cock her head as she's watching Amelia do her thing and Robin walk around with this. She'll raise her voice and ask him, "Do you know what this symbol means?"
He only pauses briefly before he goes back to organizing and looking them all over and almost touching every single one he can possibly. And as he's moving, he speaks. It's a religious icon. Something of something like a goddess. And we'll continue just reorganizing and touching them all.
Can Mary make a religion check to see if she knows anything about this?
Absolutely.
Same.
Both of you can.
Oh, nice.
Ria's a smart cookie.
All right, Mary.
You can do it.
No, I can't.
Yes, Ria. You vaguely recall a familiar symbol like this. There was. Give me 1 second here. Oh. Hang on. Give me a second. I need to look something up real quick. I did not expect you to roll that high. I mean,
It's always fun to hear.
isn't it? Let's see here. Ah, yes, there we go. That's what I was looking for. At first it tickles your memory, as if you've seen the symbol before. You can't quite place it, and then you remember in your studies lore of Shellen. You know intimately, as most paladins or clerics of Shellen, that Shellen's brother Zon Cthulhu is a very important figure in Shellen's life. He is a deity that fell to darkness and has become a deity that embodies pain and torture. You could say the god of such things. And he bears a very unique and interesting relationship to Shellen in the sense that they have an agreement they don't typically bother each other because they're still siblings. And Zon Cthulhu, as evil as he is, instructs his followers not to harm followers of Shellen. In fact, they may even help followers of Shellen because it's very strange, their relationship. But this is something that you are intimately familiar with. Well, Zon Cthulhu has many powerful servants. People that, like Shellen, like most deities, people that could almost be considered gods themselves. And you recall one. You don't remember anything about them. Just one word. Mother. That's all you recall. This symbol is related to some servant of Zon Cthulhu called Mother.
Alright, so she'll sort of take a moment looking at the paintings that Robin's lined up against the wall. And after a moment she'll say, I recognize that symbol.
Robin stops completely and just waits. Looks down at you.
Say, in relation to Zon Cthulhu, I don't know a lot of information, aside from he and Shellen are related, but this symbol, it's for someone called Mother?
Robin smiles and nods and looks down at you again after he kind of rearranges 2 or 3 to look better. Says, "You're very smart." He's got a weird smile on his face.
What are you doing with them, Robin?
Improving them. They shouldn't be lying around like this. They should at least be just.
You know more about her then?
He nods and says, of course. My entire family follows Mother.
Would you be willing to tell me anything about her?
She is to the equivalency of a goddess. She treats my family well. Sometimes, if you listen very close and you are of an artistic nature, she speaks to you. And he switches one picture from the left to the right and the right one to the left, as if it was completely wrong. We should probably find an artist, don't you think?
We should. I just feel it's good to know as much as we can.
There is not much to know. She's somewhere. I do not know where, but Mother speaks to all my kind. Eventually, hopefully. He has this shine about his eyes while he says this.
Amelia watches between both of them, and then after a moment, just kind of like tries to scoot past Rhea to get through the door. Just kind of like,
No!
no.
You guys having fun?
Yes.
But yeah, she'd scoot out of the way for Amelia.
Learning about Mother just straight scared Rhea into color.
Oh my gosh, look at that. Face got all flushed.
Her hair too, damn.
You said there was a tarp on the floor, right?
Correct. There is a tarp on the floor.
Gotcha. We will take a peek under it just in case.
There's nothing except a cleaner floor than usual. No dust underneath it, but otherwise
No
it is
secret
simply
door?
a tarp. No secret door.
Always good to check these things. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Why did the turn order go to me?
Because it's your turn.
Good question. No, I had to. It's weird how I have to replace tokens. I had to put Rhea back on the turn order.
Oh, that's weird. Okay. But yeah, she'll go to the next room.
Sure. Give me a second. Let me open up the thing that lets me remove stuff.
You can do it.
I can do it.
Or can he?
I believe in myself. You see a hallway with a door at the end and a door directly across from the door you're in now. There is, as before, dust, and looks like a body being dragged across the hallway from the door facing you.
Okay, so it looks like he was dragged out of this room.
Correct.
Okay. Amelia's gonna take a moment and kind of press her ear to this door to see if she can hear anything. I guess roll perception.
Yes, please. Well, you don't hear a wisp.
This is how I die. Okay, she very slowly, very carefully tries to open the door.
Gotcha.
Should I do stealth or?
Do you want to try and open it quietly
Yes.
so that the mantises don't hear you? By all means.
Yeah. Shut up, Squee. Oh. She like leans on it and like turns the door trying to like do it quieter, but she like stumbles and like throws the door open accidentally. She's like, God fuck shit.
Oh, Van Casterkin, shades of memories.
Oh God.
They're
No,
perfect together.
stop.
I know. A single bed with blankets and pillows scattered atop of it in a disarray sits on the south of this room. More muddy boot prints mar the wooden floor here, and a splash of dried blood decorates one of the pillows.
Oh boy. Does that look like enough blood to be lethal, or just like somebody smashed his finger?
Roll me a medicine
Smashed
check.
his finger.
I mean, it's not a hard medicine check, but still, roll me a medicine check.
With the way I've been rolling,
Yeah.
goddamn.
Woo!
I mean,
That's okay. Wary's in the room now. Wary can help you.
Mom, I
roll
need help.
roll with advantage, Amelia.
Can't Mary do it?
Nope.
Does Mary even? Oh,
You rolled
God.
first, so she can only aid you. That's much better, though.
16. Much better.
No, given that it's on a pillow, probably a head wound of some kind. Perhaps someone got knocked upside the head. But given how much is there, certainly not lethal. Probably someone just got a bad concussion.
Well,
I love. So yes, definitely not dead. Not from that amount of blood.
okay, yeah. She'll kind of examine the sheets and the pillow and say, well, it looks like he was ambushed here. It should still be alive, but it's been 2 weeks, so who knows? Is there like a dresser or something, or is it just the bed in here?
No, just the bed, the pillows, and the blanket.
Is there anything under the bed?
Dust.
Perfect. She'll turn to Mary and shake her head and says, there's nothing else here. At least not in this room.
You're not. Very well. Then we keep looking.
Somebody needs to move because
Yeah.
it's always very crowded.
We. I want to check this one.
Alrighty.
Ria doesn't. Yeah.
You just open the door.
She just opens the door.
Just kick it down.
Give me 1 second here. Both of this room's windows are tightly shuttered, like most of the windows of the houses you've seen. Yet the air inside this room feels strangely fresh and scented. No doubt because of the 6 large candles that burn within it. The candles seem to have burned down to very nubs, and the flames themselves are flickering as they are run out of wick. Each candle has been affixed by a glob of melted wax to the crown of a gleaming and polished skull, and each of these impromptu and grisly candle holders has been placed atop an otherwise clear desk to the west, arranged in a gentle arc. A chair sits before the desk, and a careful stack of papers and scrolls sit inside the arc of the skulls. To the south stands a nearly empty cabinet, its shelves barren save for a few paintbrushes and a cracked pottery urn. Strewn about the floor of this otherwise very neat and almost immaculate room are about 8 notes, handwritten, crumpled up, and thrown to the floor.
Can I just go through and pick these up and see what they say?
Of course.
As soon as Mary realizes that there are like actual candles burning in this room, she will make a perception check to see if she can hear anybody, see any signs of life, or hear anybody specifically in the room next to us that's still blocked off.
Of course. Roll me a perception check. And Rhea or Muriel, are either of you knowledgeable in Arcana? Proficient?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
We left our casters at home.
Yeah.
We left the
I'm
intelligence casters.
Oh.
Wow. Okay.
Amelia, you can roll me an Arcana check, please. Marie,
thanks.
you don't hear or see anyone.
Oh my god. Why? Oh, okay, never mind. It didn't roll. Oh, that's
Like
not
we
much
said, our
better.
intelligent casters.
Shut the fuck up. Wow.
But hey, here's the advantage of being mid-level. Even low rolls can match decent DCs sometimes. Amelia, these candles are not unknown to you. They are a simple enchantment. These candles have a very, very faint magical aura around them that allow them to burn many times longer than normal, while also giving off a very faint, pleasant scent.
So it would not be unheard of for them to burn as much as like 2 weeks.
Correct. Usually they can burn off and on, depending on how often you use them, for up to a month.
Would the enchantment be coming specifically from the candles or from the skulls?
From the candles. They are. You could probably go to Tim Erning's and buy half dozen of them right now. They're not very expensive. Well, actually, given where you are in town, they would be very expensive. For you guys, not so much. But these candles could cost 5 gold apiece. So for someone who lives in Old Corvosa in a house like this, that is quite the investment.
Mm-hmm.
You do know that these candles are used for 2 things. Richer folk tend to use them for their efficiency, and poorer folk tend to use them for rituals or important ceremonies.
Okay. Interesting. She's gonna look over the papers on the desk to see if there's anything like magical or just look over the scrolls, I guess.
Sure.
Mary will go to this door and see if it's locked.
Got you. Give me 1 second
Stealthily,
here.
I guess. I don't
Sure.
know.
Roll me a stealth check.
I think if there's somebody in this, they know we're here. I don't see the point.
Gotcha. I'll do the room before I go over what you find in the papers. You as well, Rhea. You were picking up the papers that are on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
She will open it carefully so that it's not like, open door, crossbow bolt, Two-Face.
You open this room, and it appears to have once been a combination of a kitchen and a storeroom. Storeroom, but is now a bewildering. Oh, hang on, everyone. 1 second, sorry.
Why did you eat all the vegetables out of the noodle?
Just chicken noodle. It's not even any soup.
Why didn't you eat the chicken? That's the best part.
Right?
Oh, Laura, that
By the
that
way,
cobbler's
love,
done. It's on the stove.
this used to be
I
chicken
know.
chow mein. Don't walk away. All right. My apologies.
No, that made it so worth it.
The room appears to have once been a combination of a kitchen and a storeroom, but it is now a bewildering riot of brightly colored fungus and mold. The stuff grows
Oh.
everywhere, in every color, over tables, across cupboards, in swaths along the floor and the walls. But it seems the thickest to the southwest, where puffy sheets of yellow fungus cover several objects so completely it's impossible to make out what lies beneath.
Lovely. Is this a medicine check? Is this a nature check? What is this?
I would call this a... you could probably do either.
Well, I have a +1 in nature and a +8 in medicine.
I will tell you
Bet your bottom dollar.
they will tell you different things.
That's fine.
Right. Medicine. Let's see. You do see that some of this mold, specifically the yellow one, can be dangerous. It's known creatively as yellow mold. It can be dangerous for those that are weaker of constitution. It can damage you if it gets inside your lungs. Young, healthy people like you, it would most likely not kill you. It's mostly known for being fatal to small children and the elderly, but that does not mean it would not hurt you.
Gotcha.
You do know that fire or direct sunlight can destroy the mold. Or at least fire would destroy it, sunlight would render it dormant.
Okay. Do you think would radiant damage count?
Yes. I wouldn't burn it. Radiant damage doesn't typically burn, but it is like sunlight. I would say that would. Though the problem is that, well, I was going to say that it would need quite a bit of sun, but I guess that's the point. Radiant is kind of like concentrated sun, right? Yeah, I suppose that would work. It's like taking a drop of sun and throwing it at people.
I might also have I have Sacred Flame. I can cast that. It's radiant damage. I also have Light, the cantrip.
Well, that wouldn't be sunlight, though. So
yeah,
Sacred Flame would work.
Yeah, and maybe not burning random fungi.
Oh, you know what though? We have to be true to the lore of this story. You have used Sacred Flame in the past to burn things, specifically bodies. So
they were like other
Undead.
divinely touched undead beings.
Very true. You know what? Yeah, that's good enough for me. I'll go with that. So yes, you could use Sacred Flame to it wouldn't burn anything. It would be like exposing it to sunlight for a day.
Yeah, I think we had agreed that it was like undead specifically.
Yes, I can definitely agree with that.
Okay, so Mary will take a cautious step in, trying not to step on anything, and fill the room with sunlight.
It's going to take quite a few castings, but thankfully it's a cantrip. So you guys see Murray step in and just start like, Sacred Flame, Sacred everywhere. As you do that, Amelia, let's start with you. You look at the parchment on the desk, which is a very clean desk, with a very light film of dust on everything.
Ria's also helping.
Well, Ria's on picking the ones up on the floor, the crumpled ones. Those are two different things, so I'll get to Ria's in just a second. It's a very scribbled handwriting. It's hard to make out sometimes, and it seems to get worse, or it seems to get better the further back you go. But it appears to be poetry. Not incredibly good poetry, at least at the start. But oddly, as you go back further and further, it gets more flowy. I don't know how you describe good poetry, but
Eloquent.
Eloquent. There we go. It starts off. Well, which direction? I'm going to give you summaries. Which direction would you read it? Oldest to newest, or newest to oldest?
We go in chronological order, thank you.
Though, to be fair, you would find them the opposite way. But sure. It would start with very elegant poetry. The mother kisses my mind at night and gives me such wonderful visions, visions that allow me to paint the world. I find comfort. I find peace. Mother was displeased. I shall paint again, always again, forever and evermore. And it goes on like that for a while, several pages, but it starts to change, and the handwriting starts to get more frantic. Mother has left. Mother speaks no more. Where has Mother gone? Why is she left? My muse, where is my muse? And as you read even closer, the handwriting is far more scribbled. My mind empty. I have no art, no faith, no talent. I am alone. I am worthless. And it continues in that vein.
Is this like all loose leaf scrolls, or is
Yes.
this like okay? Jesus, about how many pages is this?
20 or so.
And do they have like dates on them?
No. Who dates their poetry?
Fucking, I don't know. These sound more like journal entries than fucking poems to
My
me.
God, that'd be great. There's like some high school out there, some like poor goth kid that does this poetry, and he dates like every single one.
Jesus.
No dates of any kind.
Yeah, Amelia looks over the poems, and as she's reading them, she just slowly starts frowning deeper and deeper until finally she gets to the ending, and then she turns to Robin and says, "Does your mother's presence always end up like this?" And she'll show him the later entries.
He kind of rocks his head back and forth a little bit, as if yes and no at the same time, and hands it back. Mother is known to have a number of effects depending on how much she holds affection for you. It can only be a blessing, truly, to be that tormented by her attention.
Raises her eyebrows a little bit at that. Uh-huh. Right, well. She just kind of like trails off and like pockets the poems, I guess. Is there anything else on the actual desk, or was it just the
Yes.
poetry?
Older sheets of paper stacked neatly. You read through them, and they look like requests, commissions. It would seem that Salvador Scream, despite the quality of his lodgings, was a quite sought after painter. Many people commissioned him for great works. The pages you see are said commissions with descriptions of what kind of paintings they would want. It seems that Salvador Scream attracted a very specific type of taste. His paintings tended to be not what one would say socially acceptable. Very paintings of dead bodies and battlefields and blood and gore and macabre things. But in a city like Corvosa, there seems to be quite an audience for that. I can point out these do, a lot of them have dates, and they range back from several years to the newest one is over 3 months ago. Okay. And it has a name at the bottom, Built Swizzle. In fact, several of them are from Pilswhistle.
Oh, how long ago? So the quarantine was probably not all that long ago, was it?
The quarantine would have been about a month ago. 3 weeks in between the end of the plague and now. The plague itself lasted for, I think, 2 weeks. So let's say
Well,
between a
over a
month to a month and a half. We'll say a month because it wasn't quarantined the first day. Rhea, you've been very
Yes?
patient. The crumpled sheets of paper on the floor are all of a similar note that tend to get more urgent the more you read them. They are all, well, they start as invitations from a gentleman signed as the Emperor for Salvatore Scream to come stay with him and to paint for him. The newer sheets of paper are from the same person, the Emperor, but they become less of a request and more of a demand. And the newer they become still, they become threats. The last one, the newest one that you can see that has the least amount of dust and crumpling on it, is an outright threat that if Salvatore Scream does not come to him, he will bring Salvatore Scream to him personally.
That's fun. So reading over these, I should say, I think I might have found out what happened to the artist.
Weary will pause in her rapid fire spellcasting and poke her head back into the larger room and say, "Oh, do tell."
It seems he was more or less requested by the Emperor to paint for him.
Wouldn't be the first time. And Amelia shows her the ledger. Seems that he was the last customer.
Weary, oddly, does not seem upset by this at all. In fact, she claps her hands together and nods. Oh, good. I've been hoping we'd get to deal with him one way or another. For what he did to my neighbors and for what he's done to my neighborhood, I think he ought to expect a visit from us.
Amelia kind of raises her eyebrow at that and says, "Are we planning to play nice, or do you just want to go in and burn down the whole building?"
Mary's eyes crinkle at the edges, and you know her well enough to know that she has a plan. Don't worry your head about it, child. We'll get there when we get there. In the meantime, if anyone would like to do this, I'd really rather like to see if any of these are edible. And gestures to the room of fungi. Though I would be careful, the yellow is, well, maybe don't touch it. It ought to be dormant now.
You want to see if any of them are edible?
I don't think we should bring those back to the orphanage.
She narrows her eyes. I'm not going to taste them myself, dear. I just want to look them up.
Well,
Besides, they are growing on something. Might behoove us to see what they're growing on.
Would acid splash help, God?
Well,
It's
yes,
supposed
but
to dissipate fairly quickly, so I would think it would stop eating away after the mushrooms. I can always just mage hand it, though.
there's a risk. You don't know.
I'll
Is
just
it
mage
just...
hand it then.
Oof.
Would a sword work, God?
Fuck up.
Trying to think, mushrooms, swords, which is the stronger of the two?
Who would win?
Have to
One
be
pointy boy?
Or a bunch of spongy boys. Yes, a sword would work. Mage hand would work. Robin, you were saying?
No worries about it. They seem to be coming up with ideas. They're fine.
Sure.
I don't have to do anything else.
Someone roll me an investigation with aid from the others, so with advantage.
I have +7.
How about you?
I
have
volunteer
a
you.
+1.
You can do it, Amelia.
25.
Jeez. All right. Well, first things first. None of these appear to be edible. Most of this mold and fungus seems to be, at one point, carefully grown to create color pigments, perhaps for paint.
I knew it.
But none of them do seem to be editable. As you pick your way slowly with Mage Hand through it, however, you do find underneath one of the thick, decaying batches of mold a very interesting thing.
Is it a body?
No, it's not. It's very small, actually.
A small body. A child.
You find a jar. A jar full of ink, pigment, and you can tell that there's something faintly magical about it.
But I can't tell what's magical about it.
Not just by looking at it.
God damn
There's
it.
certain spells that could do it.
Acid splash.
How am I supposed to know this, Squee?
Well, you would know very
I mean,
easily
it's-
that
it's-
you'd need the identify
Yeah, I
spell. Shala can cast it. Give me a second. I think you have at least one spellcaster capable of that. Let me check.
I'm like 99% sure that
I'm pretty sure you've used it before.
that was when she was a wizard.
Oh, why would you do this to us?
Freya can cast it as a ritual.
Freya
And-
drifting in from the ether, casting a spell, leaving.
Drifting back.
Disappears again.
Look, just because they're gone doesn't mean I'm gonna deny you their obvious utility.
Oh, if only we had a spellcaster with identify.
Where the hell did she come from?
Would you all wait the 10 minutes as she casts identify?
I mean, I would still be picking through the
Of course.
mushrooms, I guess.
And to save you a bit of in-game time, you do not find anything else of note.
Okay. Interesting.
So, Freya casts identify, and you find out that this is a most interesting, wondrous item. I'm going to read this out to you because it's quite a lot, but I think it's important. These pigments enable their possessor to create actual permanent objects simply by depicting their form in 2 dimensions. The pigments are applied by a stick tipped with bristles, hair, or fur. The emulsion flows from the application to form the desired object as the artist concentrates on the image. 1 pot of marvelous pigments is sufficient to create 1,000 cubic foot object by depicting it 2-dimensionally over 100 square foot surface. And now it doesn't have to be all be at once. That's collectively. Only normal inanimate objects can be created. Creatures can't be created. The pigments must be applied to a surface. It takes 10 minutes and a DC 12 painting check. I would say I don't think anyone here is proficient. I would say a sleight of hand check.
Is proficient in what?
Painting? I
Oh.
don't think that's even a thing in 5th edition, to
Well,
be
sleight
fair.
of hand or performance.
Well,
It's a shame we
let me
don't have
see.
a bard.
Listen, man.
Ooh, hang on, let me
We
see.
don't know that she can paint, and also, I have a sister that can do that shit, but she's out of town.
Hey, yeah, actually, you have a sister who's a very good artist. However, let me see here. There's a 5th edition version of it. Let's see.
Fish edition.
Well, no, this is actually the Pathfinder version, but it's the same basic thing. It doesn't actually have a check on it. So here's what I would do. Whoever wants to use it, it's not like a if you fail this DC you don't make it. I would just have you roll a sleight of hand or perhaps a performance check, and depending on how well you rolled is how well you made it.
Oh boy.
Performance, you say?
The pigments cannot going back into this. The pigments cannot create magic items. Objects of value depicted by the pigments, precious metals, gems, jewelry, ivory, and so on, appear to be valuable, but are really made of thin lead, glass, brass, bone, or other such inexpensive materials. The user can create normal weapons, armor, and any other mundane item, including foodstuffs, whose value does not exceed 2,000 gold. The effect is instantaneous.
It sounds like so much fun.
That food probably tastes terrible. But
I would expect so.
Press
It's
the
made of
digitation.
Well, didn't you already say that magically created food can't be affected?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So what's the point?
This food tastes like lead.
this food tastes like bone.
But the object you make isn't magical, so the food's no longer magical, right?
Yeah, but neither is the gruel.
Yeah,
magical.
I'm
It's
gonna-
just produced
Yeah.
by a magic.
I'm
thing.
gonna have to say, you know what? No, I will say in this particular instance, she is correct, simply because whereas the gruel is constantly being created by magic and create water and food is as well, this paint creates a normal object. The magic is in the ink, not in the object itself. So that sounds weird, but if I don't go this way, that would mean that anything you draw is technically magical. And that's not the case. It's very
I
clear. on
hella
that.
want to paint stuff. Please, can I paint stuff?
No touching.
Why?
And I'm assuming Freya gives us a rundown of sorts.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Okay, then Weary will step over to the bookshelf of discarded paintbrushes, pick up a few, and offer them with an open hand to the group. Well, I'm afraid I'm not much of an artist.
Rhea takes one.
Oh my god. We're not using it right now.
It doesn't matter.
Robin takes one.
Oh my god.
Painting buddies.
Wow. Oh, God.
Squee. You're canceled.
What?
Problematic
It's technically
GM.
doable.
I hate you so much.
And Weary offers the last brush to Amelia. Well,
She will take it. Put it along with the pigments in her bag.
Rude.
I'm not using it right now.
What does that have to do with anything?
Weary,
Okay.
Yes.
you hear a faint noise from outside. From this direction.
Throw open the door.
Sounds like
And,
a cracking of wood.
gotcha. Weary perks and her head rotates in that direction. Whatever direction she's facing. We need to leave.
What's wrong?
Go out now. I'm afraid this house is no longer stable. That, or there is someone chipping it. Either way, we should leave.
At the door, can I hold out a hand, pause them, and get Erdegar to make a quick circle around?
Sure. Roll me a perception check for your Boyd. for your feathery boy. Oh.
Oh my god.
He's busy.
He makes a circle around the house and doesn't notice anything really out of place. The water ripples, but I mean, it's next to a giant river, so that's always happening. You don't see anything on the docks or anything around the house.
Robin steps out.
Roll for
Instant
initiative.
death.
Yeah.
Robin,
Then Weary will step out and cautiously make her way in that direction. Can she roll a perception check for herself?
in
See
which
if there's something
which
under
direction?
the dock? Right at this corner.
I don't see where you're pointing.
Here, I'm going to briefly move
I
Weary
see.
there.
Sure.
Right there.
Gotcha. Sure. Roll me a perception check, please.
Oh my god.
We're not doing very well today.
So give me a second here.
10 out of 10, guys.
Weary, you walk to the edge of the dock, and you don't see anything out of the ordinary except for a creeping unease. And you look around, and you're about to turn to go back, and the water behind you bursts into action. I would like everyone to roll initiative, please.
God damn it.
As
Oh
3
my God.
Otyoks
Woo!
charge from the water towards you. They are going to get a surprise round, but I would still like you all to roll initiative.
They're so cute. Oh, that's right. I don't have to click on my fucking icon. It's amazing.
Oh, I've forgotten. There it is. Okay, found it.
You guys remember these guys?
Long ass time ago.
Yeah. You fought one of them, and not another one of them.
Well, this looks like a fight that, if I am not grappled, we can just walk.
Yeah, sure.
They live in the water. They'll go back. Whatever.
Listen, we saved one of their friends a while back. They'll remember
Yeah, they
us.
fucking owe us.
Right.
You're welcome.
Definitely how it works.
That is 100. You hit it. Nail on the head right there.
Gosh, why do you think I did it? No.
Alright, so, surprise round first. Otyok 1.
Don't they make like 3 attacks each?
Maybe.
Oh
And then
my
we died.
God.
He is going to get up to you, but he has to double move to get there. Otyok 3 on a second. I think it's only 2 attacks. Oh, reconnect. Oh, gosh. I disconnected and reconnected on OBS real fast. That's fun. Oh, yeah, they do make 3 attacks. Well, what a great memory you have.
Squee.
Mm-hmm.
Aw.
All right.
Hey, I'm gonna scale down combat because there's only 4 of you instead of 6.
There were going to be 10 of them.
I did scale down combat.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So it's 2 tentacles and a bite. So Weary, tentacle number 1 is a 25.
Yeah, Squee, that hits me.
You take 6 points of damage and you are grappled.
Great. I'm having a great day. This is a great day.
You take another. Hang on. Am I reading that right? 3 actions. Yeah. Okay. And then. Okay.
Squee,
Mm-hmm.
you're not giving me any.
Mm-mm. It is going to try to attack you with its other tentacle. Nope, that one misses. And it's going to try and bite you. That is a hit. And you take 18 points of damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Jesus H. Christ.
Actually, hang on. I think I can. Well.
No, just cherry on top.
So. Let's see. You are experienced enough in healing to know that this bite, while not venomous, is foul, and there's a very high chance that it can infect you or give you some kind of nasty disease.
So do I have lesser restoration on the Purby?
No, you have greater.
Okay, and I already used that on Rhea.
Correct.
Thanks.
That's his turn. So you are grappled, and the other one has to double move to get to you. So on the positive, you only get attacked by one unless you try and move. Which you can't because you're grappled. Right. But, hey, guess what? Turn order. Weary, you're up first.
Okay, so...
Oh my gosh.
What?
You guys keep going. I forgot there's no music going on.
Oh, yay, okay. Is it athletics? Is that what it is?
Or acrobatics, either or.
Well, not animal handling.
No, they are not concerned with your abilities to tame animals.
I don't think I've rolled like above a 10 yet.
It has been quite trying, I agree.
I mean, you can summon your spiritual weapon as a bonus action.
You can. So your action, you did not break the grapple, but you still do have a bonus action. You can summon a spiritual weapon. You can cast one of the prayer beads as a bonus action. That's important to remember. You can scream in frustration. That's a free action. I wouldn't make you spend a bonus action for that.
I don't know. That seems a little overpowered.
It's like a level
Seems kinda
13
broken.
ability. Yeah. Anything with your bonus action, Weary?
Yeah, she will. Spiritual weapon, I guess, kind of in the middle here.
Understood.
Oh, that's really loud.
You might want to turn that down. I have Wally at like 12%. Okay, fitting calming music here. By the way, Amelia and Robin see all this. Rhea, you hear it kind of?
What's going on, you guys?
Oh, I have to make an attack with that weapon.
With you don't have to. You could summon it, but you can make an attack with it. Oh yeah, there you go. Oh, I see what you're saying. That's yes. To do damage with it, you have to roll an attack. All right, you do 5 damage to which one?
1. Whichever one is holding me
3.
right now, that's the one I'm. Oh,
3 is holding you.
well, then 3.
All right, so 5 damage to 3. Gotcha. Perfect. Sweet. Okay. Amelia.
Oh boy. Let me just double check something real quick. Radius is like the full distance, not just half, right? Diameter is half.
Correct.
Other way around.
No, wait. Yep, correct. Other way around. Radius is the quarter circle. Diameter is the whole circle. Circumference
The
is
half
the
circle.
yeah. Yes, I think quarter because it's so small. I don't know. I'm not good at geography.
This
Leave me alone.
session,
Geography?
You realize
Oh,
no
God.
one knows how to do math.
I just want to be able
Look.
to catch these guys and not worry. That's
There's
all
a
I care
reason
about.
why I didn't follow my childhood dream of being an astrophysicist, okay?
So does this catch them and not her?
Well, let's actually put Muri in a square. And yes, I would say that does not catch her.
Excellent.
Though
She's
I need to
casting-
move him. There we go. He's still caught. I'm just adjusting appropriately.
You gonna cast
Yeah.
Fireball?
Yes.
You gonna cast Fireball, you sorcerer? Lem?
So Muri, you're not going to be hurt by this, but man, you're going to get blasted by some really hot air.
That's fine.
Like
Why are all my... I didn't get my spell slots back. What the fuck?
in slow motion, you see all of Muri's feathers get blown backwards.
There we go. Now I have all of them. Okay. Yeah. So she's going to do that at 4th level because fuck these guys.
I don't know why you guys are being so mean to my
so-
pets.
I
If they
didn't
were
do
my
anything.
pets, I wouldn't care.
You guys get familiars. I don't fuck them over. That is a failure, a
all
failure, and a
around.
failure.
So
Failures all around.
take this and also this.
So add 4 to 32 for everyone.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And that's her turn.
Welp. That did some damage.
Uh-huh.
Wow, their symbols are so tiny.
Yeah, what the fuck? Like all of
What is
our
up with
health
that?
symbols are super teeny tiny.
I don't know. That's so weird, but they are definitely damaged. Alright, is that it for your turn?
Yep. Actually, no. She's going to step. Is there like a stairway like right here, or is it just like flat against the dirt?
It's like a 2-foot drop. It's not very high. It's like just high enough off the ground to be off the mud.
Yeah, she's gonna gently hop down to the ground so that Rhea can actually get out. Move over here and turn.
Gotcha. Interesting. Sorry, I'm just looking at why all of a sudden the dots are tiny. I don't really know. I'll have to work with that later. Alright, okay. Otyok 1, which is this guy. Muri. Hi.
What?
How's it going?
I have like 26 hit points left?
Well, that's a miss. That's a hit.
Yeah.
You now have less hit points left. 14 points of damage. You now have 9 hit points left.
Mm-hmm.
And oh dear God. So, that's a crit.
Yeah.
Description: in addition to the standard critical hit damage, all allies you can see gain gain inspiration. Oh no. It chomps you so badly that its friends get into a frenzy. And you take
Oh my fucking god.
14 more points of damage and go down as
Look at all of that healing that we have.
as these monsters just start trying to rip you apart. And they smelling the blood, they start going into a frenzy. On the
Okay.
bright side, I'm not making you roll a constitution check again. Rhea,
Yeah, thanks for that. Thanks.
I'm here for you.
Really appreciate that.
Would
If this is how Mary dies, I'm going to be so mad. You have no idea.
would Robin let Rhea by if she comes running down the dock?
He might nudge her off the side of the dock and be like, leave that space clear for me.
How the heck am I supposed to heal? That's fine. Just go here and fight then. Where you can die. No healing, apparently. She gets nudged off the dock.
Alright. Use your spell slots.
Yeah, all 0 that I have. I still have to be within 5 feet of her.
I know. Alright.
Alright, so
Yeah, Murray definitely does not look good. They are currently trying to, between the two of them, pull her apart. That is a
Thanks
miss.
for that image.
You know, I find descriptions help D&D be a more visceral game. Brings everyone into it. Brings us closer together. That's a hit.
for max damage.
Yeah, nicely done. He is not looking good. He's taken a lot between the fire and Murray's spiritual weapon and your blade. He is taken a lot of damage. Anything else, Rhea?
That's all I can do.
Robin.
Yeah. Robin bolts up, grabs a hold of Miri, and is going to try and dimension door out with.
Interesting. I think that works. Do you mind if I look something up real quick?
Go ahead, yeah.
I've never tried to dimension door someone who is grappled out.
Magic doesn't require strength.
Yeah, I agree. I'm looking at the spell. It says it's instantaneous. So, like, the thing is, I'm trying to think, like, do you have to pull them through the door? But that's not what it says. And more specifically, that's not how your magic item works. I might consider this differently if it was someone casting a spell. I might not. But specifically because of how your cloak works, you run up, you grab Mary, and you both just poof, disappear in a cloud of brimstone. Back.
I've taken her inside with me.
What? Excuse me?
With him, not in him. Inside with me, not inside of me.
Okay, thank God.
Amelia, help her.
Right.
Rhea and Amelia, you see them both just vanish in a puff of brimstone. Robin, you still have a bonus action if you'd like to use it.
Yeah, but I think it's a full action to feed someone a potion.
Yes,
so
it is.
I get out and prepare a health potion and make sure that I'm between her and anything that's going to come in.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. My meal. I like to think that when you disappeared, like, their mouths chomped down on nothing as they were trying to bite. You know, they were holding on to Murray with their mouths. So when she just disappeared, there's like that chomp sound, and then there's like a brief hesitation, and then it turns to Rhea, and attacks with the tentacle. He's gonna roll inspiration on that.
God damn it. Roll a 1.
Did roll one. What's your AC?
20.
So no, that didn't work. Second tentacle attack. No, that didn't work. Bite. No. Rhea, your shield and armor saves you from this terrible beastie. The second one though. Comes around here. Doesn't get flanking, but it does get attacking. That's a miss. That's a miss. That's a miss. Rhea, you are just a flurry of shield work as you use your rose emblazoned shield to just push them off of you.
As a reaction,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna cast Ray of Enfeeblement on number 2.
Okay. As its second tentacle slaps the shield and you just kind of push it out of the way, you tap into the power of the shield that you've slowly been growing to understand, and a ray of light, and Amelia, you would see this, of rose-colored light strikes out at the Otyo. What is... Hang on, let me see. Ray of Enfeeblement. I mean, I know what it does.
DC 14 con save.
DC 14 con save.
That's what
Thank
you
you.
need.
Yes, that is what I needed. Right. Con. Nope. it now has half damage to all attacks involving strength, which is all of them. So, well done. Oh, whoops. Oh, I see. Murray, you succeeded a death saving throw.
Yay!
Thanks.
Amelia, your turn.
Okay, so this still catches all of them, correct? And it does not touch Rhea.
Yes.
Rinse and repeat. Let's fuck them up. I don't have time for this shit.
No, they don't. They would not like to have another.
That's really unfortunate.
They would like a mulligan.
So
son of a bitch.
that and also that.
Rhea, as you are fending them off desperately, doing some fantastic defensive fighting, one more fireball blasts the area, blowing your hair back, and with screams of pain, the Otyok stop paying attention to you and start flailing around wildly. In fact, you have to duck one or two tentacles as they start running around on fire and then eventually just collapse to the ground.
Rhea is uncomfortable and warm.
I mean,
Jesus
just like
Christ.
breathing heavy and just like, you okay?
She just slowly turns around to look at her, nods.
She just like immediately nods and like kind of runs around, just like, Robin, Mary,
In here.
like hops up. My baby. Well, you shouldn't have sent them after me. Fireball is now my answer to everything. Screw acid splash.
Squee, I didn't ask how big the room was. I said I cast fireball.
Oh my god. Yeah, so she's going to cast Spare the Dying.
Okay.
Can I stop her before she does that?
Yes, it's a
a
cantrip, but
cantrip?
yes, you can.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna use my last 5 lay on hands.
Oh my gosh, I missed all these memes. I was focused on the DMing thing.
Yeah, we were having a great time.
You guys, I'm sometimes sad you guys on YouTube can't see our peanut gallery, but you know, that's just for us. All right,
That's the real-time panic room.
you said you cast Lay on Hands?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I only have 5 hit points to give.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, honey.
That's 5 more than she had.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, Squeak, could you like throw the information prayer beads into like my notes or something?
Absolutely,
I
I
can't find
can.
where it is.
Yeah, I'll do that. Give me 1 second. Because that's important to have, I think.
I think
Oh, hang on.
I wish you could use False Life on somebody else. That would be super helpful.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? Yeah, sure. Let me find parcels. New prayer beads. Murray, let's do this. This will be easier for you. I'm going to share this with you, with all of you, right? And then Murray, take that shield at the top left and drag it down to one of the little, one of your free little spaces. You know, the ones that are numbered.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And then that way you can open it up anytime you want. It's always there.
Okay.
It'll probably work faster for you than putting it in your notes. But yeah, you have 2 bless, 3 cure wounds at level 2. Oh, sorry. You do have lesser restoration. It's level 2 cure wounds or lesser restoration for the aquamarine ones. And
Okay,
1
that's-
greater restoration.
Assuming I'm still poisoned. You know.
You are not poisoned.
Oh,
You're-
really? Okay.
You're just fucked up.
You are diseased.
Oh, Jesus.
I can't.
Well, I think lesser restoration will take care of both of those things.
Maybe? Hang on. Let me check. You might be right.
You can cure one status effect or heal one disease, I'm pretty sure. Used it for Karasa
Yes.
before.
Yes. Or one disease. Correct. You can.
Great. So Mary comes to in a room of 3 people looking down on her.
They're all just hovering over her, just like, oh god, is she okay?
Yeah. One black eye cracks open and she takes a raspy breath. That's what I get for being. And she'll sit up and sort of prop herself up against the wall and thumb one of the beads and cast Lesser Restoration on herself.
Robin's gonna put a hand on hers before it touches and pull over the greater healing potion he has in his other hand and be like, this first, probably.
She might be wounded, but she's still very stubborn. And she gently catches it. That is for you.
He sighs and puts it back in his bag. He makes sure that the sigh is heard.
Uh-huh.
Why do I have damage on me?
Because you hurt my babies.
Fireball!
Oh no.
Okay, there you go.
And her eyes crinkle as she rests a hand on his. Thank you.
He nods, stands, offers her a hand, and looks around at all of you and is like, what were those?
Yolks?
They usually live in the sewers, but I suppose pickings have been this way.
Really, the faster you can dispatch them, the better.
Robin's gonna go out and poke at bodies.
They're nice and crispy.
They are.
Jesus Christ.
They're blackened.
Rhea just gets more and more uncomfortable with this group every day.
Weary, you can't feel any sort of infection or disease or anything set in yet, but you're a
I cast
healer.
Lesser Restoration.
Right. So I was saying as you're casting this, you're a healer. You know it very well could be, and you cast it on yourself. So you don't notice any change or effect, but you know. It's like a doctor, you know what I mean? In the sense that you know that maybe you were, maybe you weren't, but you're not risking it.
If you get stabbed with a rusty nail, you get a tetanus shot.
You get a tetanus shot. You don't roll the dice on that one. But you are still incredibly dying. Like you have 5 hit points right now.
That's cool. She will burn through. How many do I have of those?
And I should note that you know, as you're kind of assessing what you feel, several of your joints have been dislocated as your body was being pulled 2 separate directions.
Gotcha. Well, we're gonna burn through the other 2 cure wounds at level 2.
Gotcha.
Because one of the people in the room is not strong enough to put those back in place, and the other person is probably too strong.
Wait.
Were there supposed to be 2 pops?
Oh god, it's out the other way.
No.
Oh, no.
Alright, go ahead and do 2 cure wounds at level 2. And don't mark off your spell slots for them.
Are you?
It's a nice thing. I'm curious actually, because I control NPCs mostly. Does Fantasy Grounds automatically tick off spell slots for you, or do you have to manually tick them down?
I have to manually do it.
Yeah.
That's
Manually.
nice. That's very nice. So that we can do like that, like where you can just cast 2 of them and not spend resources.
Okay, so let me see. 4d8.
Yeah, make sure that you're clicking yourself.
And remember, Muri, since you are casting it, you get all the benefits of Muri casting it.
Plus the benefits
Right.
of my
Okay,
stuff.
so the total 2 cure wounds at level 4d8 plus
Wisdom.
my wisdom is
Plus your
plus 5.
Efficiency, right? I think.
Well, also, does the healer feat
Yeah, it's-
do anything for that?
Yeah, I
She-
have 2 buffs to that. One of them heals me. One of them heals whoever I heal.
Alright, so normally it is spellcasting ability modifier, which would be 8 plus your proficiency plus your wisdom. So 8 plus 8. I'm sorry, not 8 plus 8. It would be 2d8 plus 8. So it's not 4d8, because that's like a level 4 spell.
No,
It's-
because I'm casting it twice.
Oh, I got you. Well, let's do it this way, just to keep things keep things simple. 2d8 plus 8 plus I forget something because you're a life domain.
Yeah.
Blessed healer hit the 2 plus the spell's level.
So another 4. So 2d8 plus 12, and then Rhea, did
And
you say
then,
you
hold
add
on,
something?
I
to
got
that?
one more.
Plus another 2, 4, 6. Plus another 8
For
my aura of affection.
Yeah, a blessed healer, and then I also have Disciple of Light, which is another 2 plus the spell's level.
oh, is that for you personally?
Yeah, both of those affect me.
Right, but I mean the Disciple of Light is specifically just for you, right?
No, the blessed healer is.
Oh,
Blessed
gotcha.
healer heals me whenever I heal.
Gotcha.
And
At 7th level, the love you feel cascades out from you in waves, bringing comfort and vivacity to those around you. Anytime a creature within 10 feet of you rolls at least 1 die to replenish hit points, either their own or those of another creature, increase the result of each die roll by 2. That's neat.
Okay, did we decide how many fuck off dice?
So let's
That's a
do this.
lot.
Let's just do two of this. So do. Oh, you want to go ahead and just do 4d8 first, and then we'll add 2 to each of those die. Or actually, I think
48?
yeah, 4d8. I think Rhea, you have the right of it. So it'd be 12 plus another 8, which is 20. So 17 plus 20, so 37 hit points.
And then, Rhea, did you add anything?
Yeah, Rhea added 8. Oh, and then you add another 8 because of less than 2. So 37. Yep, you're back up to full. Well, no, not
Sick.
quite. Not quite. You have 2 hit points of damage.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
Good lord, you guys are like healing machines over here.
That's okay. That's exactly what Miri was built for.
Yep.
She's very good at what she does.
No, I completely agree. That's fantastic. You will need it someday.
Uh-huh. Yeah, today we needed it.
Right. Yes, that someday was now.
And Miri will pick herself up and dust herself off, and she looks only mildly worse for the wear compared to just, dying a minute ago. And nods at Rhea. Thank you, too, for your help.
I'm just sorry I couldn't do more after last night.
And Weary reaches out a hand and puts it on Rhea's shoulder. That is not something you need to apologize for, child. You are hurting. We all are, but you most of all. Be kind to yourself, child.
She gives you a small smile. We should probably find Amelia and Robin. See where we go from here.
She nods.
You get up and you look out and you see Amelia being followed by Robin.
They're playing tag.
Is that what we're calling it? But yeah, Amelia's gonna be looking around the house for any more of those things. Or any other signs of something other.
Yep. Nope. That's perfect.
Are those edible?
Technically, but they're really charred.
Please don't.
Some people prefer it that way.
Mm.
Yes,
Yeah, we
technically,
refer to them as well done.
technically they are edible. Murray, roll me a cooking check. You have proficiency. You have a cooking kit, right? So I think it's normally we use wisdom for you. So your wisdom plus your proficiency. So what? Just a D20 plus.
Well, you can just make a custom roll in your
Yeah.
skills.
Yeah, I need to. I also want to make a custom healing for her that we can add all the bonus stuff.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
So we don't have to do this every time.
But for now, just roll a D20 and add 8 to it.
How about I just roll a wisdom save? That does
Yes, that works. Yes, you've sampled Altia before. They are edible. The meat is very tough and rubbery, gamey, one might say, and you have to be careful to remove all the skin because the skin itself is very not sanitary. And if you are not skilled at cooking and such things, you can get that into the meat itself.
Gotcha. So it's mostly like the internal organ.
The muscle is really what the good parts are. The internal organs, sure, if you're into more exotic foods. Wait, this is Murray we're talking about. Yes, indeed.
The one who puts bugs in her cooking.
Yeah, I forgot for a second.
Yeah, she's the one that ate a spider.
You're not exactly going to find a market for selling these things, but you could definitely cook them.
Squeeze the people here are starving. I think if she if she can butcher these well enough and I think people will just take it.
You know what? In this circumstance, they probably would.
We're not really going to carry these back, are we?
Does Muri make her intentions known?
Well, here's a question. So
Yes.
2 large fireballs just went off, including, well, not including, but like in accompaniment to 3 very large creatures screaming in agony. Is there like anybody poke their heads out their window?
I'll say. What is everyone's passive perception? Let's see here. 13.
Mine's an 18.
Mine is 12.
12 and 12. Weary, you would notice a couple of heads peeking out of windows, but your battle seems to have the effect of clearing the streets out even more.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Murray stands over these creatures. They're a little charred, but she could salvage most of this, and they're very large creatures, and says to the group, I would rather not let food go to waste. Not here. People need it more than most.
You're going to eat these?
Have you
She shrugs. Why not? They're a little chewy, but they're not bad.
Amelia is not surprised by this at all. She looks over how big are these things?
They are considered large creatures.
Oh my god. That would take oh god. It would probably take all of us to just carry one of these things.
Freya goes, I have a spell that could help with that. Could create a disc that could hold one of them.
I have muscles.
Big muscles.
Muscles.
Yeah, she has Tensor's floating disc, though the weight limit is 500, so she'd be able to put one. But the good news is, she could put one effortlessly and take it wherever you wanted. And Ria's got muscles. Give me a second. 5e carrying strength. Strength 5e 5th edition. Lifting and carrying capacity. Your carrying capacity is your strength score multiplied by 15.
My maximum is what, 225? And then lift, pushing, or dragging is 510. So I could drag this thing through the streets.
Yes, you could.
Oh my
You
God.
could drag it on your own.
Mary was not planning on like taking them anywhere, except maybe to like the cleanest portion of the docks she can.
Please let me drag this thing.
Just to, it really, it's literally just a flex.
It
Huh?
really is.
Yeah, that's fine. Just take it down to the most sturdy portion
okay.
of the docks.
I'm gonna say, you guys are about a quarter of a mile away from the orphanage.
That's why
Yeah,
we're gonna chop them
she
up
wasn't
on the
planning on
docks.
Yeah.
Just like butcher them over the river, cook them in the street.
Robin's already gone over and is cutting tentacles off and putting them in a net he has.
And Mary will try to give him some help.
Amelia will also try to help butcher these animals.
Right, Murray. I would like you to roll a cooking check with advantage, please. I'm gonna need 2 of them. 1 to carve them, and 1 to cook them. But let's handle 1 at a time. So roll me a cooking check with advantage.
Okay, I'm gonna do wisdom saves for both of them.
Yes, that'll work as well. Yes.
No, I do. Okay, well, instead of like rolling dice, I just threw that window over to the other side of the screen.
It happens.
1, 2. How many? 4 total?
Nope. Just 2 for now.
Okay.
Because we got to handle some other things. But
Natural 20.
Weary.
She's a chef, man.
Yeah.
That's her background.
Weary just starts like carving these things expertly. You see her take out like a paring knife and just start separating the skin from the muscle like it's nothing, and just like cutting it into chunks and like tossing it into the net like it's second nature. Robin, as you're probably the closest, maybe even holding the net, you're very familiar with knife work. It's pretty impressive. You heard me. I didn't stutter.
No, you didn't.
Oh, man.
I was wrong, but I didn't stutter.
Oh my god.
You very quickly have over 200 pounds of meat and edible food.
I could carry that.
You could.
So are we cooking this here or back at the orphanage?
Where is she?
How do you know her middle name?
Mary shrug. Here's fine.
You do know you would have to cook inside. It is raining far too heavily to cook outside.
Gotcha.
The kitchen in this house is kind of it's overrun.
Moldy, but there is plenty of room in B3. I suppose there's room in B2 as well. B1, there's less room because of all the paintings.
Assuming we have technical access to the other characters.
Yes.
So, like a session or two ago, Aram had given some aid to some of the families begging in the street.
Correct.
Muri would probably send Aras and Freya both to go see if they can find them again, just to make sure that they're not alone, but those people probably need help still.
Freya would probably mention, well, that seems incredibly dangerous if we run into the Emperor's thugs again.
I was gonna say, you're sending a couple squishies out there by themselves.
Oh, I thought, like, this was owned by, Carlos.
You're in the
volunteer to go with
territory of
them.
the Emperor.
Yeah.
Well, whoever's stealthiest.
Yeah.
How about we do that after, like, let's not split the party. Let's just cook the meat and then...
Oh, we do have a bag of holding.
Yeah.
I suppose we could just cook them here and take them with us. I don't know how much a bag of holding can hold, but it held one entire body.
It can hold
party member.
way more than 200 pounds of cooked meat.
I'm pretty sure isn't it like 500 pounds or something?
Let me find it real quick.
But my mascles.
Your mascles, I know.
Yeah, you can carry one whole bag.
Bag of holding. It's 4 feet deep. Bag can hold up to 500 pounds, not to exceed 64 cubic feet. So you're fine. It would take up quite a bit of the weight. I would say after being cooked, it would go down in weight a bit too. But that all depends on how well you cook it.
It would probably help if she has like access to the real.
To the what?
So, huh?
You're cutting out.
Oh, I was gonna say it would probably have like access to real cooking implements. So we'll probably head back to, I don't know.
Let's just head back to the orphanage and cook there.
Are we gonna leave Dude McGee in the fucking closet?
Well, Van Carlo doesn't have a kitchen.
Van Carlo doesn't have a kitchen.
Nope.
He has a fireplace.
If you want to, you don't really have herbs there.
Oh,
or
you got
implements.
me there. I can cook it, but it won't be tasty, and that's an affront to Weary's character.
I mean, Van Carlo's got like a couple of power bars. You can throw those in. That's like the same thing, right?
That's practically seasoning.
Exactly.
Just marinate them for a little bit. It's fine.
Sure. Yeah, we'll probably go back to the orphanage. Are we going to go get Dude McGee? That was a genuine question. Are we going to leave him in the closet?
Are we bringing him back to the fucking orphanage?
I don't know. Freya needs to decide what the fuck we're doing with him. Well, we either bring him with us.
Freya's not here.
Yeah, I know. But, like, either we bring him with us, or we leave him in a closet in an unoccupied house.
You can't just force the man out
We
of the closet.
should probably just check and see if he's still there. He might not
also has my magical item, and I would like that back soon.
So we should probably go check on him.
Okay, so we stick the meat in the bag of holding, and then we head back over to Van Carlo's. Yes?
Okay.
And it falls into the void.
Forever.
You toss it in, and then after a few seconds you hear plop.
Gosh.
And the Atiak carcasses go back to the river they came from.
Gotcha. So, with raw meat and organs in hand in the bag of holding, you head back to Van Carlo's.
Yeah, we should probably check and see if the dude is still there. We're
Gotcha.
gonna roll lots of perception checks this time around.
Other than the game and the ink, is there anything from this house if you want to take with you?
Did we take the notes with us?
Yeah, Amelia has them in her bag.
Robin, did you take any of the paintings with you?
That and the ledger.
Yeah, he put one in his bag. He picked one he liked.
Okay, and the candles were not usable, right?
Right,
They
the
were,
candles
like,
were starting
barely
to
hanging in
sputter.
there.
Yeah, exactly.
You said that there was some sort of urn on a table in that room.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let's see here.
And then the paintbrushes. We stole a couple of those.
Yes, a cracked pottery urn.
Okay. Is there anything in it?
No.
For good measure, Robin's gonna go over and slice the bed open and check the pillow.
Gotcha.
Oh God. Okay.
You find a straw mattress, and I hesitate to call it a down pillow. It's more like feathers from some bird pillow.
Okay. I feel satisfied.
All right. You guys make your way back to Van Carlo's home. I'm going to pull up his home real quick.
We're gonna have to roll more perception checks for every.
No. I'm making you do all that again. Let me
Jesus.
just get
Ooh.
these two.
Jesus
out here.
Christ.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to make it smaller. My apologies.
Your apologies.
You heard me.
Your apology isn't good enough.
Wow. Harsh. I'll just kill
Do you
my
want
hot
to
dogs
like
again.
close this and then reopen it slightly?
Sure. Here, let me, Oh, here.
I'm struggling to find the edge of it. So.
Yeah, give me a second. Go ahead and, close it out. You'll have to close it out on your own, unfortunately. There you go.
Hey.
Mantis guy's dancing in the closet. Somebody freed him.
He's bored.
You guys make your way back to Van Carlo's house. You make your way up the stairs. Anyone wanted to note anything as you walk into the house? It seems to be untouched.
Okay, I will roll a perception check to make sure that's true.
Okay.
Anybody want to help me with that?
Sure.
All right.
We all
Roll,
collectively put our ears on the door.
roll perception with advantage.
Just click advantage.
No.
such determination.
God damn.
I will not click advantage. Oh, hang on. Let me get rid of good old invisible Annika over there.
Where?
You don't notice anything. You don't. The house is quiet and undisturbed since you left this morning. Only an hour and a half ago. You make your way up the stairs and into the bedroom, and you find.
Check the rafters real quick.
Sure. Yeah, I think that perception check. You're fairly confident there's no one in this house. You get to the
There
closet.
should be at least one person.
And you find no one.
Are the bindings there?
No.
God fucking damn it.
What did I tell
That
you?
sucks. That sucks.
That was my magic item, man.
Well, now it's their magic item, man.
Does anyone have proficiency in survival?
No. It is a wisdom skill I could try.
Sure. Go ahead and try and roll me a survival check. Alright.
Oh shit.
You've cleaned this house, so there's not much dust left, especially after the whole fight that you had. But checking the closet and small other markings and things of that nature, it looks as though this person, especially knowing what you know of the magical item, this man was not free. He did not free himself. It is very likely someone got him.
Sorry about your manacles, honey.
I have a regular pair if you'd like that.
Amelia,
It
like,
makes you feel better.
yeah, Amelia, like, kind of kicks the trunk and then just And then like limps out of the room, just like
Oh,
muttering under her breath. She's so angry.
Would an hot yuck sandwich make you feel better?
No,
you want a protein bar?
no.
By the way, I'm
Oh my
sure
God.
I'm butchering their name, but Adyuk just sounds cool to me. You know what? We need like a D&D verbal dictionary where I can just go like, you know, like you can go to Webster and click on pronunciation. But yes, it would appear that while you were gone, this man has been taken.
Mary sighs and shakes her head.
Is Annika just not in the corner anymore?
Did you leave her there?
I had asked you earlier how far she could be away from her for that reason, but you
yes,
never
got
answered.
you. I did not. You definitely could have. Yeah, she can be as far from you as any familiar.
Oh, good.
I told you.
Listen, man.
So yes, she would still be in that corner.
Amelia's going to ask her what happened.
She would become invisible. And for the first time, Robin, you would hear this ghost-like creature speak. A woman, dark of hair, fair skin. Looks like your friend, the bard, came, walked in here, picked him up, and left.
Mary nods. Thank you.
She looks at Miri. It would be important to note. There was no searching. She knew exactly where to find him.
Probably talked to him in his sleep. Thank you, Annika.
Mary gives her a sort of half bow.
And Amelia dismisses her.
She turns to Robin and then is dismissed.
And Amelia walks out of the room.
Okay.
It's her first chance to talk to the new person, but no.
Mary shakes her head, and under her breath, anybody who is around her hears. Well, that I suppose.
What was that you cut out?
Oh, she was just. she was just exclaiming. She hasn't. I don't think we anybody in the party except Amelia has heard her talk. I think Mary was under the impression that to Mary and like talk to her that way.
Yes, used to be. But since Amelia has gotten her ring back, she is more fully in this world. For example, she is no longer a half-floating ghost. She's more formed, if still not the pleasantest of looking, with her slit throat and all.
Yeah, she's now 3/4.
Yep. But she is more fully in this world, and she is... I will say, Mary, this is the first time she has spoken to any of you.
Gotcha. And Mary mutters something under her breath about ghosts.
What do we do now?
Now we go back to the orphanage and cook meat. Amelia kind of throws her hands up in the air. Rubs at her face.
Mary places a hand on Amelia's shoulder. I am sorry that you lost your item. But don't forget, my dear, that you are not alone, and that there is yet some good to be done today.
Her mouth goes into kind of a thin line, she purses her lips, and yeah, I know.
And your
She-
sister is well to join, provided she mind her manners.
Amelia kind of stiffens and heads towards the stairs.
All right, where to now?
Home.
I see.
We gotta get right back some spell slots. And
Some-
what better way to do that than cooking and feeding core and then going fuck to bed?
You guys trek back to the orphanage. Let me roll something real quick. Okay.
Listen, I made that joke first, okay?
I had to bring it back. I'm well aware you made it first. It's relevant.
Well, here's a question. Are we attempting stealthy when we go back? Does that matter at all to anybody?
Good question.
Are we trying to
Yes.
Stealth.
Do we all want to roll stealth?
Stealth is stealth, stealth.
Stealth is stealth, stealth. Let's do it.
That is my least favorite thing.
Oh.
Oh, honey.
That's all right. This is a party skill check. You just need to do more successes and failures. That's it.
Oh, whoops.
No, that's
No, that's right. That's correct because you're wearing heavy
Oh
armor.
my god.
I dropped it.
Oh, you dropped it.
I'm sorry.
Well, there's 4 of us. Who's the deciding one?
My d20 that I rolled. You guys make it back to the orphanage, unaccosted, barely seeing a soul as the rain pours down upon you, and the noonday sun climbs into the air.
Well,
As-
we think somewhere of the
Ye-
clouds.
You can
Probably.
kind of tell a brightness coming from a certain direction. The sky is overcast, but it is not a deep, dark purple of, say, a thunderstorm. No, actually, you've never experienced the weeping before. So, or the, sorry, not the weeping, the, oh gosh, I forgot what this storm is called.
You can do it.
No, I can't. I forgot. Whatever. The storm. You've never experienced the storm.
Beautiful.
Thank you. The wailing, I think, is what I called it. You know what? I'm gonna stop guessing. I'm just making myself look bad.
The thing that I called the storm. That thing.
The crying, the sobbing, the sniffle.
The slash ringing.
The sneeze? I called the sneeze.
Singing.
It's called the crocodile tears. You guys come in through the door and are immediately bowled into by a giant corgi, very happy, who has been
Losing
sitting
his
there
mind.
sitting there for the past day and a half, staring at the front door, waiting for his master to
Oh,
come back.
honey.
You made me leave him behind.
Robin's
My
gonna
boy.
put himself outside with Erdegar on the adjacent room.
Oh, what is he doing?
He's staying outside.
Oh.
Sitting outside the door, just kind of on the porch with Erdegar on opposite roof while you guys cook.
Mary will come in and put a hand on his shoulder.
No, he's on top of the roof on the other building.
Did he? Well, he said that was where his familiar is. He said it was outside the door, right?
Robin is on the porch outside the door.
Ignore
His
me
bird
then.
is-
Keep up, Alora.
Mary will come out and put a hand on his shoulder.
Oh my
Will
god.
you come inside?
I think we'll keep an eye out for a little while.
She shrugs. If it pleases you. but do come inside eventually, yes?
I will. Nod.
Thank you. Go back inside, I guess. What are y'all laughing?
Well, just the size of our tokens.
They were quite large. I
And
don't
then
have a grid
Amelia
here,
was
so
very small.
I don't typically put grids on maps unless I expect there to be necessary, because otherwise I feel they just impede you. Robin, you stay outside. Your bird keeping watch.
Weary will call Majenko to her.
Majenko will flap down and land upon your shoulder and say out loud, "Any news?"
Oh yes, plenty. Would I do us all some good?
He nods. Well then, how may I be of service?
What have you seen, little friend, since we have...
I believe he is called the Emperor, has been fairly quiet. There seem to be patrols on the streets, but no more than usual. And from what I have seen, your encounter with them was treated as unfortunate incident, one that did not seem to garner the attention of more... I'm sorry, he said one that did not seem to garner more attention.
She nods. That is good, though I am afraid at some point we are going to have to... Oh, what's the term? Throw stones at that nest?
He'll lower his head and his long neck and cock it to the side. You intend to confront the Emperor?
Weary sighs and pauses what she's doing. There is a good reason for it, and a more selfish reason. We must find who we were set out to find. And I do not like him. What he has done to my city.
Majenko nods. Be careful. He has many men. But I have seen your strength. I give it even odds.
And she gives a soft, whirring laugh. Thank you, my friend. That does make me feel...
He nods. I will go keep vigil.
Stay dry, please.
He then flies off and flaps out the door.
Goes to chill with Erdogar. They sit on opposite ends of the roof.
They do, actually. Robin, as I'm sure you are periodically seeing through Erdogar's eyes, yes?
Yeah, every 1 to 3 minutes we keep
Sure.
in constant verbal contact.
You find that, like, Majenko is giving sidelong stares at this odd raven.
Robin's gonna go ahead and speak telepathically to Erdogar and be like, you can be friends with him if you... Which I doubt gets too much of a response.
Uh-huh. There's just a silence. 3 of its eyes blink.
Staring contest commences.
What about the rest of you? What are you doing? It will take, I'll let you know, Murray, right now. To cook all of that, it's going to take you a solid 6 to 8 hours. And that would not be considered rest. But if you spent the day, i.e. you spent today and you guys rested the evening and like went ahead till tomorrow morning, you could prepare all of the food and get a full long rest.
Gotcha. Okay. And then the only other thing she'd want to do before she sleeps is like try and hand some of it out, but I think I'm not sure how I want to do that. If we have like, if we want to try and do it more subtly or hand it out in the open, that's something that I'd prefer to discuss with the party.
Makes sense. Well, the rest
That
of you.
and we've all had kind of a shitty day.
It's true.
Bad night's sleep, so like she's happy to have a day in now.
Yeah, you guys can spend the day relaxing. Theoretically, those of you, if you don't, so the thing is, a long rest doesn't necessarily have to be sleep. Like Rhea, if you just sat back and did nothing for about 6 to 8 hours, that would count as a long rest. That said, if you don't want to have a level of exhaustion in the morning, you should get some sleep at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the long rest benefits are considered, light activity still counts. So, like, for example, you could help Miri a little bit with the cooking, do some reading, nothing too strenuous, but you could get a long rest that way. Same for Robin, Amelia, and Miri, not you. You're going to be heavily cooking.
I was gonna take the boy out for a bit.
Sure.
He's been inside for a whole day and a half.
Take him for a walk.
I'd be
Put a little
careful
raincoat on
about
him.
that.
I'm a fully grown white knight. I can do this. God.
Miri, that reminds me. There's a corner. There's a corner with some piddles.
Oh no! Well, guess who gets to clean that up? Rhea, it's your mount.
I mean, it's been a day and a half.
Those are some big piddles.
It's a big piddles.
Oh, he's probably hungry too.
Oddly enough, actually, no. You know what? I have to backtrack on that. He's a magical creature. I don't think he eats or piddles.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So never mind. You're fine. The orphanage is fine.
There might be some, hair on the ground, but
right. It doesn't mean that he doesn't like walkies.
Mm-hmm.
Walkies are the best part of the day.
So.
And Mary got a full night. Mary has all of her spell slots and has used actually none.
Mm-hmm.
And can create food and water.
Okay. How much?
I think it spoils if uneaten after 24 hours. So
I will also tell you that with 200 pounds of Otyuk stuff, you would know this. There's a limit to how much you can hand out in a day or in a few hours. You probably have plenty of food with the creatures, but you can still create food and water if you wish. I would not stop you.
She will. Yeah, she will make water, and plenty of it, as much as anybody wants. If they want to bathe, if they want, I don't know. I don't care.
How many spell slots would you spend?
Well, one casting creates 30 gallons.
Mm-hmm.
So that's enough for everybody to drink.
First things first, you need containers for it. 30 gallons.
I can just summon it on the ground.
Yeah, and then it'll just seep into the ground.
On the ground.
There's your water. Go get it.
She probably has. I mean, Jesus Christ, she has an empty cauldron that can probably fit a person in it.
I'd say the cauldron could fit, because I'm thinking like a 5-gallon water jug is pretty big, so 6 of those is pretty darn huge. Your cauldron could fit 1 casting. I don't think you have any other containers quite big enough.
Oh, she's got some pots and pans that can.
Sure, like I could say another casting could be spread out among them. Sure, so 60
Yeah.
gallons total. That's still a lot of water.
Yeah, I think just one for now would be just fine, unless somebody wants. But she'll use so she'll create plenty of water, as much as anybody wants. Spread it out around several containers, and then she will create probably some fruit and some vegetables, because
Okay.
this is a lot of meat and it needs an accompaniment.
Sure.
And one of us is a vegetarian. She thinks.
So 2 castings total?
No, just one.
Well, a casting of water and a casting of food.
Create food and water.
Ooh, hang on. Let me check the spell.
Create 45 pounds of food and 30 gallons.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah, that's
All right.
why she was able to summon the water and
Oh,
the
right,
honey
the
at the
honey.
same time.
Yes,
Yep.
you are correct. Great googly moogly. Oh, well, it is a level 3 spell, so that makes perfect sense.
Mhm.
All right.
And she's very busy in the kitchen. She has cut open some fruit for the bees, who are happy and making meat, and she's in her element.
Understood. What do the rest of you do? Rhea, you take I almost said Wally. Portly
do it.
out. I imagine you stay close to the orphanage.
Yeah, she'll take him out.
All right, you
Stay pretty close.
gotcha. Robin, you at some point you see Rhea and Portly walk out and start walking around the surrounding buildings.
Can I stealth after them to make sure nothing horrible happens to them?
Roll me a stealth check, please. And Rhea, roll me a perception check.
It's beautiful.
Is it the return of the squeaky shoes?
It's fine. Rhea still has to roll. Okay.
It's really muddy out here. It's gross.
Wait.
Rhea, you see Robin trying to quietly follow you.
You get flashbacks.
I just want to real quick.
Uh-huh. Oh, Portly knows.
Okay. She'll turn around then and just smile at him.
He stops and smiles back. He remains like 10-15 feet behind you this whole time, as if it's perfectly counted per foot on the ground.
I imagine that she turns around and looks at him, and he just goes still. Like, if I don't move, she won't see me.
She'll walk over back towards him with Portly. Would you like to walk with us?
No, I'm alright. I'm just, making sure that you don't run into anything bad. Don't worry about it. And, waves a hand, kind of takes a step back again, I'm sorry for intruding on your space.
It's not a problem if you were following us anyway. It sort of gives him a joking smile. I'm sure Portly would love to have someone to play with.
His eyes brighten almost like a little kid. That red glow to him, and he smiles a little bit at that and reaches out and tries to give Portly scritches, but is really hesitant, like someone who's not sure about animals.
Oh, he would immediately lean his front half down.
And bite your hand off.
No. He's a very good boy.
He is.
He's ready for the scritches.
Robin gives him scritches and speaks in a weird language with a lot of S's and a lot of D's muttering into his fur, and then smells very almost sweetly at you and offers an arm.
She'll take it.
And he motions for you to lead the walk.
Okay. She will do so, and at intermittent points, she'll just like nudge Robin for a moment and be like, "Watch this," and will telepathically give Portly a command to do some random trick that he knows.
Like what?
Please don't let
I'm
it be
curious.
rollover. In the...
Yes, I'm curious.
I mean, he has a raincoat on.
Oh my god, that's adorable. Robin still maintain that weird little kiddishness that seems to occur with this dog, and like will smile at you and kind of pat your hand on his arm, but there's a little bit of a jump to his step whenever the dog rushes around or does something cute. And it seems like whatever he's saying in a different language is almost the equivalency of baby talking.
Incredible.
If a
This is Erdogan.
harsh guttural language could have baby talk,
Oh man.
that would be it.
He's gonna bring Erdogar down to land on her shoulder and be like, this is my friend Erdogar. And don't be deceived, he's just a demon. He's quite nice.
She's like, "Oh, I did you say demon?"
Say hi, Erdogar, and like kind of nods at him to say hello. Erdogar will nestle into your hair.
She sort of stops walking for a moment.
Everything alright?
Demon.
I should also mention, and correct me if I'm wrong, Robin, but it is 3 eyes on each side of the head, yes? In a row?
3 eyes on a row and then 1 on either side that seem like normal eyes.
Mm-hmm. I got the whole eye situation, I know.
He's one of my best and oldest friends.
Exactly how old, if you don't mind my asking? She's sort of just staring at Erdogar on her shoulder.
How long has it been now? 890, possibly?
800. Oh. That's quite some time.
He nods. Yeah, we grew close after situations. Should we keep walking?
Oh, yes. Robin, if you don't mind, not now, but sometime later, I would like to talk to you about something, if you don't mind.
He looks down and evaluates her for a second. And then makes a head motion for Erdogar to go follow on one of the buildings, chasing after, kind of hopping from one to another. And he responds with, absolutely, I'm completely open to your questioning.
Oh. Excellent. It's nothing bad if that's a concern of yours. I just... It's related to religion.
He nods slowly. You disapprove.
Well, not exactly. You follow the mother, correct?
He nods.
And she is a servant of Cthulhu, who is brother to Shetlin, who is my goddess.
I should note, Robin, your heritage has never discussed or addressed Mother being the servant of anyone or anything.
Yeah, Mother's just a god.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of raises an eyebrow, seems a little bit lost in it, and responds with, I guess all gods are related in one way or another. She's simply Mother. She does not serve. We serve her.
And just being sure, Rhea knows that she absolutely is a servant of Zon Cthulhu, right?
You know that you have been taught that she is, yes.
Or taught that she is, at
I mean,
least.
you've
Yeah.
never asked her, but yes, that's your teaching.
Mother, are you... Right. Oh. Is she not? That's what I'd been taught, at least, in my studies.
No, not that I've ever heard of. Mother is just Mother. We live to serve her, obey her, and give ourselves for her. She is Mother, and just kind of shrugs like it's this thing that is just everywhere.
I see. Well, perhaps we can compare knowledge a bit later. I would be interested in knowing more, if you don't mind.
He nods. Knowledge is definitely something I would like to gain from this. Perhaps it could gain me closer to her. Acknowledgement.
I suppose that's a possibility. I'm afraid I don't know too much more about her.
He nods and says, maybe if we get a bit closer, I'd be willing to share, but I don't take this personally. I find that when I give small pieces to people that I meet, it generally turns against me. I do worship Mother, and I follow her to the end of my life, and I serve her completely. But I'm not sure that I'm willing to share something quite that intimate yet. Seems a little really awkward about this.
Right. She'll nod and smile at him. Of course, it's no rush. Not at all necessary. If you ever do feel comfortable with the topic, though, I'd be more happy to speak with you.
He nods slowly. Do you possibly envy him? Salvatore screamed. Being so close to his god, so able to touch her.
Should I?
He shrugs with that one right shoulder. I don't know. It's just a thought. I feel jealous. And there's a little bit of a tightening in his body when he says that.
Well, while I do follow Shellen, I follow my order more.
See, I do not follow Mother. I belong to Mother.
It's quite a distinction.
A minor difference that I've noticed between different religions. A level of devotion and sincerity.
I see. Well, as I said, if you're ever more comfortable with the topic,
He nods. I appreciate you, and I appreciate the warm welcome that your entire group has given me. It's not quite like I've experienced, and I promise that I will at some point, as we are together in the future. I'm sure we have a lot to do in the city. I will share.
well, I will look forward to that then. But in the meantime, and she'll nudge him to look back over towards Portly. And would there be anything like, I don't know, some wooden board or something that would have possibly fallen into the street or something?
Sure.
Oh.
I've mentioned a few times that people typically in Corvosa put wooden planks down to walk upon. There would be a few of those around still. The mud has gotten a bit too much for them, but not for a dog.
Anything that Rhea could comfortably lift and throw?
Sure. I mean, these planks are fairly small and light. They're designed for one person to be able to carry several of them and place them down.
Right, so she will nudge Robin to look towards Portly, and she will lift one of them and just chuck it down the road as Portly runs after it.
Robin's going to laugh and be cautious of Portly coming back at them with this giant muddy plank straight at.
He's a very obedient boy, though. He stops right before he reaches them and just sits and holds it in his mouth.
Robin will repeat the process of prestidigitating this plank clean for her to throw it all the way back to the door. And before they do go in, he will clean himself, her, and the dog.
I'm sure Mary will approve.
He will bow, and then he will take position back by the door, rest his back against it, and close his eyes.
Are you sure you don't want to come in?
I could for a while, I guess. I want to make sure that I'm back out here before it gets dark, though. And he'll join them.
Okay. You go back inside. I'm thinking of pushing ahead unless there's anything pressing anyone wants to do.
Not really. Amelia would just be mostly helping Mary however she can. She's
Sure.
not like an amazing cook or anything, but she knows how to chop things.
So I will say, Robin.
There was one thing I wanted to say to Robin. But
Yes.
Okay.
Comments.
As Robin comes inside with Rhea and Portly, Mary will look up from what she's doing, and her eyes crinkle at the corners. Did you find what I told you to be true?
He shrugs with his right side and says, "You're a very wise old bird." And comes over and wants to see what she's cooking.
She snorts and hands him a bowl of rice and vegetables and says, "Go eat."
He's gonna go sit down.
He might notice that this is essentially, aside from the Atiak, that it appears that she has made this essentially just for him.
He's gonna go sit down. He's gonna eat it.
You'll note, Robin, that the rice and vegetables themselves are bland, but they have been spiced up with seasonings and aren't half bad. Real quick before you eat that, Murray, roll me another cooking check with advantage as Amelia's helping you.
Oh, God damn it.
This is where it gets real,
Sorry.
people. This is D&D. All right. Yes. The vegetables and rice taste particularly bland usually, given that they were made through Create Food and Water. But Murray is a maestro in the kitchen and has seasoned them up quite nicely.
He'll eat the whole bowl and he'll bring it back and wash the dish and set it down and kind of pat her shoulder before he goes back to wherever he's going to sit before it's.
And she will hand him a smaller dish of patiak that has been cooked but not seasoned and cut into very small pieces. You may ask Majenko if he likes, but I am sure your bird is hungry.
He will appreciate this. And he will instead go outside and feed Erdegar and try and motion the strange dragon creature.
Oh, Majenko will come over and alight near you. From Murray.
Yes. Robin seems a little unsure about dragon creatures. It's not quite fond of dragons.
Right. Even though this is the size of a cat, it is still technically a dragon.
I'm sure it can do something horrible with its mouth.
Actually, what he does is he'll take a chunk, put it on like the banister next to him, and like breathe flame on it to make it very charred, and then gobble it down, and then grab another piece and repeat the process.
How about this? And Robin will lift a few pieces out with his mage hand and hold it up for him to cook rather than burning the banister. Mary seems to treasure her orphanage a lot.
There seems to be a well-charred area on this banister. As if this is something that's done usually. But he'll look at you. Thank you. And then char all 3 pieces at once. And then gobble them down. You are new to the group.
He nods.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for. And then he just kind of takes wing and goes back to the roof.
Robin picks up the bowl, looks at the bowl, looks up at the dragon, repositions Erdegar, and just kind of shakes his head to himself like, I'm so screwed again. I can't believe I always do this to myself. Walks in and will clean the bowl, set it down, nod to Miri again, and then head back out when it gets...
Gotcha.
He's gonna sit outside and smoke his strawberry tobacco too. Not like sleep or anything.
So I will say that before the evening ends, and what we can do is it would be fairly able to tell by the time you have finished cooking everything, it's getting dark outside. If you're going to distribute the food, it's probably best to do it in the morning.
Okay.
Rhea, Amelia, and Robin, you can get the benefits of a long rest before going to sleep, as you've spent at least 8 hours doing not more than light activity. Where you will have to get 8 hours or 6 to 8 hours of rest to actually get it. But like I said before, you are all, as the day is ending, you are all tired, and if you do not sleep tonight, you will gain a level of exhaustion. Is there anyone who's not going to sleep?
I think we all are.
Okay,
Mia doesn't wanna, but she will.
I understand. Hey, at least you got
Mary-
your spells back.
Yeah. So before everybody kind of beds down, what Miri will do is she will drag a couple of the beds all into the same room, because they're usually only going to they usually only sleep like 2 to a room, and then there's the kids' room. But she will drag several up to the same spot so that they can all kind of be in the same room together.
Gotcha.
And before she will step out to say prayers, and she wishes to attempt to communicate with her god, which is not something she does very often.
Roll me a religions check. No. This would be a wisdom thing, not an intelligence thing. Roll me a wisdom saving throw. Well, yeah. Okay. You pray and commune to your god. You do not have a direct conversation, but you do get the sense that she is watching over you.
Gotcha. Is there anybody kind of within ear she does this?
Where are you doing it?
She has her own room kind of tucked off to the side.
No, I'd say not. You're not being very loud when you pray, so no. I'd say you are effectively alone.
Okay, then what she says is something that I will send you in private.
Okay, perfect. And of course, I assume you send your message as every night?
Yeah, and she has a couple to burn, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something that she wanted to bring up to the group. She used 1 level 3 spell today. And sending... Where are you? Sending is a level 3. So she could technically use... She could send 3 sendings if she wanted. So she will, of course, send 1. And then to the others, she will... Moira's not really a hesitant person, but she will think this over carefully. And catch the attention of Rhea and Amelia. I have the ability to speak to those I am familiar with at great distance. Is there anyone you would like me to try to speak? They can answer me if they are able.
Was this to anyone in particular, or just the whole group?
The whole group.
Amelia hesitates for a moment and then says, "If you could check with my mother. I just... It feels like even outside of the city is dangerous."
Moira nods and will say, I can send a short message. What would you like me to say?
I suppose ask if she and Triona are safe. If they've moved.
Moira will nod and send a message to Amelia.
You would receive a response. Mary, it has been too long. Tell my daughter that we are safe, and we are dry, and we are warm, and I hope the same is true for you.
Moiri will relay this word for word to Amelia.
She nods, and a surprising amount of tension that she hadn't realized she was holding kind of goes away for a little bit, and this is like right before bed, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
You got your nightcap on.
Yeah, the nightcap she definitely owns. Yeah, she'll pause for a moment and then give Moiri a hug before heading to bed.
And Moiri will return it. And she will turn to Rhea.
Rhea seems sort of deep in thought for this whole exchange. And after a moment, she'll shake her head and a sad smile say, I suppose if you could just check in with my brother, if there's any news.
And Moiri sighs and reaches out and places a hand on Rhea's shoulder. I know that is not what your heart, but I fear in this case I will speak to your brother. What would you like me to say?
I'd mostly just like to know if, I don't know, what work they've had done, I suppose. I know Cressida's had them posed as guard, or if my sister has arrived.
Her eyes crinkle very gently. I will ask if Cressida has been treating them. And we will relay this message. Series of questions.
We?
I'm assuming I get some.
No, he ignores you.
Okay, well, they'll
This
fuck
is
him
the
then.
bird
He's
thing
your
she
brother.
is. Can't believe God died.
It's our campaign now.
Oh my gosh, was that whole thing muted?
Yeah.
Yes.
Whoops. You get a response. We are. You get a response that says, "Murray, was it? We are dealing with some matters pertaining to the Grey Maidens, but otherwise, well."
We will relay this to
Rhea did also mention asking about her sister showing up. Was there any comment on Claire?
24 words. Claire's not here yet.
Okay. She will just thank Miri then and head to bed, I guess.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Fun.
Oh, we get the roulette this time.
Well, first things first. Let me do something here.
Uh-oh.
No. This is a good thing before I do the bad things. Da-da-da-da-da-da-dum.
We have to find who's safe before we can throw other people under the bus. Oh my god, Amelia.
There we go. All right. You all lay down to sleep, perhaps apprehensive, perhaps not, and the night passes slowly. Robin, I imagine at some point someone would have offered or you would have taken a chair outside on the porch, or are you standing the whole time?
No, I sit down. If there's a chair, I'll probably sit in chair. Otherwise, he's
Murray
pretty good.
will offer you a chair and a blanket, whatever you want.
Robin has moved off of the chair and pretty much has the blanket over top of him. Yeah.
Oh, whoops! I sent that to your private channel instead of Crimson Throne. I just sent Amelia an exclamation point. Stop! Cut it out!
It's time to stop.
You've got to cut it out. All right. Robin, deep into the night, you are watchful, ever watchful. Roll me a perception check. For your raven.
Real quick, if this is happening during the night, should Majenko?
Yes, please have Majinka also.
I don't have access to the character sheet.
Oh,
I
well.
cannot roll for him.
I shall roll for him then. Okay. Give me a second here. Interesting. Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Your raven alerts you deep into the night that a figure walks down the street and will pass the orphanage. They are covered in a black cloak and walking in the rain. Quietly, but he has seen them.
Do they walk right in front of the orphanage?
He has told you that their path will take them directly in front of the
Okay.
orphanage, yes.
Robin's gonna get up and he's going to nod to Erdegar to stay hidden, and he himself is going to disappear into the shadows beside the orphanage if possible, which he's not really good at today. This mud is horrible.
You looking where... oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I keep thinking Majenko. You're a raven's name one last time for me.
Edgar.
Erdegar. Erdegar, yes. Erdegar, looking the direction Erdegar told you, you can see the figure approaching. And it comes in front of the porch and looks up directly at you. And there seems to be a pause, and it approaches you closely, carefully, slowly, till it is about 10 feet away. And then
my hands go to my blades.
okay. Its hands reach up slowly and draws down the hood. And you see, with your excellent elf eyes, a woman that looks like this. Rain starting to wet her hair. You expected me. I am surprised.
He shrugs with his right shoulder and drops his hands away from his blades. He crosses those arms, but he's going to keep concentration on being able to reach his daggers in time if she comes towards him. No intention to kill, but probably flip around and an arm. Like,
Understood.
Just strike blunt.
She takes a few steps closer. It is not often that one notices me.
I'm dark out, and I can see well.
She begins to walk around you, but her eyes are that of appraisal. Do you know who I am?
Robin feels somewhat accustomed to this. And he's going to drop his arms and stand as tall as he can rather than his usual slouch. And say, "No, ma'am, I do not know who you are. I have some guesses."
I see. And she'll make a full circle around in front of you again, and then even in her heavy cloak, dips into what you can only describe as an immaculate courtesy. This, being around nobility as you have before, a well done bow or curtsy can tell you a lot of someone's training, and it's one of the best you've ever seen. She goes, "I am Camille Valentine."
Robin reciprocates with the best bow that he can conjure, trying to edge that somewhat groveling, particularly with her appearance out of his body. Probably shows slightly, but he will take that full bow and introduce him. "Rob Thrice's famed Labar, second son."
It is not common to see a drow in these lands, especially not a second son.
He shrugs with his right shoulder. "I've been up here a very long time, actually. Just not many can stand the daylight, the brightness."
She begins walking around you again, her eyes more curious this time. "Yes, I have had dealings with your kind before. Always so polite, always so ready to stab you from behind. My kind of people. It does make me wonder, what purpose do you have with my query?"
"I'm seeking a companion of mine."
Yes. Everyone seems to be seeking... Tell me, is it my sister you're after?
His brow furrows a little bit. Says, "I have no interest in your sister. That is their quarry."
Ah, then it is the vigilante. The blackjack.
His eyes narrow. Can I roll insight to make sure she is 100% sure on this information and knowledge?
Absolutely.
She's got it. I'm not very good at this, but alright. It's a bad night. Robin's gonna die. It's fine.
It's really hard to read her. She stops, and then she looks at your face and then laughs. "My dear, how do you prefer to be addressed, second son?"
They call me Robin.
My
Like
dear,
the bird.
my dear Robin, my family is experts at interrogation. Your friend is strong, very strong, but not strong enough to keep all his secrets. He did not tell me of you, though. She begins walking around you again.
He smiles and spins to follow her, staying in one place as he does, not wanting her to get any further wet, and actually takes a moment to recover her head with her hood, and smiles as he talks and says, "Good, Mother would be proud of his resilience. I assume if you have him, you know that I'll be coming for him."
Her eyebrow raises. Interesting. We don't need to be enemies, Robin. Are you born to serve like your other male brethren?
He takes a slow nod.
As I thought. Poor lost drow, searching desperately for a place to belong, a people to serve. You are in the wrong place. I can give you power and status. I can give you purpose. The likes of which these, and she vaguely motions to the orphanage, couldn't dream of.
Can you give me immortality? He raises his head, almost cocky-like, just as if he has.
She smiles. Many things are possible. I can tell you that I'd have a better chance than they would.
I have debts to repay and missions to complete. I will deeply consider your offer, Heidi. And he smiles at her affectionately.
She nods. Then I'll make you an offering, a gesture in good faith. We hold the blackjack with us. I will suspend his punishments until I hear back from you. And I do so wish to hear back from you, Robin. She gives you a very sweet smile.
He bows and says, then I assume we'll be seeing each other again soon?
Very soon, Robin. Very soon indeed. And she puts her hood back up and begins walking away.
He put her head up. Squeak.
Oh, what?
Oh, you missed that? No, she did. No, he can confirm.
Wait, what? I'm confused. What?
While she was spinning around him, he followed her movements and put her hood up for her.
Oh, I see.
He was concerned about her.
Got you. She will pause, not turning around and say, such a gentleman. I think I like you, Robin. And then she starts walking away. And disappears into the night. And then, as just before she disappears from your sight, she stops. Roll me a perception check, Robin. And also one for Edgar.
Yeah, I'm gonna have him follow her as far as he can.
Gotcha.
I know he'll lose sight eventually. There's his.
Ho 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 ho.
Oh yes, Edgar.
Edgar would hear this and relay back to you, word for word. She stops. What? What do you mean? How? Damn it. And she marches off into the night.
Beautiful.
I will tell you that Edgar follows her. Roll me a stealth check.
Also, Erdegar's priority, just so we're clear, I want him safe. I do not want to lose my friend. I know he's resummonable, but it hurts him emotionally. So safety above success.
Gotcha. Give me a second here. After about 10 feet, she stops, stares straight at your black raven. I am in no mood. Follow me further, and I will end you.
I have Erdegar bow, and I pull him away.
And Edgar's last image of her is stomping off into the rain. And we'll end the session there for the night. So,
Holy
good
shit.
times.
I'm gonna kill a bitch.
I'm so mad. God
Oh
damn
my
it.
god.
I love how Amelia's rage at her shackles almost levels out with Ria's rage over Shala.
Oh no, this is a different anger, but also I want my shit back. No, like literally as you were starting to describe like the whole thing with Robin, like I was just like, oh, I should probably have like Annika sit outside just to have like another pair of that. And I was just like, no, it's fine. And then you started describing her and I was like, shit, god damn it. No. Whatever.
Well, here's a question. Did Majinko notice this at all?
No.
Oh, that's too bad.
No, unfortunately not. His role it was good, but it was not good enough to see her. And their conversation was not very loud. It would have been drowned out by the ring.
Boo. Whatever, it's fine.
All right, everyone. Thanks for watching us. Join us next week when we find out if Robin takes up Camille on her offer.
Oh man.
Take care, everyone.
Okay,
Bye.
Bye.